Okay, everyone. So hello and welcome. Today's call is all about lead generation. And this is a topic that I really love because I found some really interesting ways of figuring out lead generation from a design perspective and not an SEO perspective. Will's more on the technical side and I'm more on the design side. So he's the lead master and I'm just kind of tagging along with figuring out how to do lead generation. So when I found this method of lead generation, I got very excited. So I'm just gonna share my screen with you guys. Can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. There we go. Alrighty. So maybe you can man some of the comments if anybody has any.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about mindset first. I love this quote. Will always says it, what got you here won't get you there. So if you guys have large goals this year, we got to stop doing the same things. We got to stop trying to look for leads in the exact same spots. So we know that there are countless ways of figuring out how to get leads. Do you want to talk more about mindset? Are you good?
No, absolutely. The whole idea is, I think everyone relies on very similar tools, and there's a bit of an echo chamber that happens. So when you mention Facebook advertising, that's the low-hanging fruit. Like that gets us in front of a ton of people for not a lot of money, but the quality of leads isn't surprising considering the platform. So we're trying constantly the same things with slightly different kind of permutations of whom we're targeting or what kind of message, but fundamentally, it isn't necessarily the place where you're going to find leads of the size that you want, because that's not what they're doing during the day. So there are a ton of other places, and I want you guys to start thinking a little more about who the audience is and where they're spending their time and where they're looking for creatives and how they think creatives would fit into an organization.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so here we're going to talk about objectives. Then we're going to talk about lead generation tools. And then I'm going to ask for a volunteer, and then we'll talk about our next topic. Okay, so some of you guys have already told me your objectives. So Tom, you want to focus on video. Is there anything else that you want to focus on? Like what brings you the most revenue right now?
No, Tom. Sorry, Tom. I guess, are you available to answer your question?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, it's video and like motion graphics. Basically, that's where we live mostly.
Who is as far as video goes? That's a very broad. Like, is it commercial? Is it like?
I'd say you could say corporate. Corporate. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. That's really we do some commercial, but really and truthfully, I think corporations spend way more money than people doing commercials.
Perfect. Is there anything else?
I mean, you could video, like production kind of falls under video, but it's sort of like a separate thing for us right now. We don't do a ton of production. It's more to support our current ones, but like we've talked about adding more, actual production work outside of, just the stuff that our clients are bringing us.
Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, that's good. Reggie, what about you?
What brings me the most revenue, you're asking?
Yes.
What's the question? Web development, and I also do actual small businesses, and I want to do more of that, but right now the web development is bringing me the most income.
Okay. So we'll stick with that. Okay, Shivram, what about you?
For me, it's mainly UI UX design, and then the second one would be identity design, and the third would be 3D.
Identity and then 3D?
Yeah, 3D modeling and rendering
Okay.
for product actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Bill, what about you?
Okay, sorry. I'm doing a little babysitting with the baby who's a little fussy this morning. So,
The baby? Is the baby there?
yeah, the baby's here.
Oh. Oh.
He's adorable.
Okay, so she's a little fussy today, so she came to work with Dad.
That's okay. She's so cute. Oh my god.
Thank you, thank you.
How many people here have kids?
Wait.
Oh wow. So pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Okay. 3 areas. I'm going to keep this all really based upon the printing because that's what we've been working on for that aspect of it. It would be wide format, like retail signs. And then I would do corporate printing.
Okay.
And then more specifically, one of them would be direct mail pieces.
Awesome. Okay, is there anything that you guys thought about that needs to be added to this?
Yeah, actually, for me, we can change Objective 3 because production really does fall under video. But I think if we change Objective 3 to strategy, I've been messing with core and working on that, and it's something that we do a lot. And that's one thing I want to start building into and adding and doing that with new customers going forward. Like putting that as like a separate billable ahead of any video production that we do with them.
It's actually, that's like a whole other topic I'd love to talk about.
Yeah,
that's a hard one to sell, right?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oops, that's going to go on yours. So let me just add another. See if I can figure this out. Insert ones to the right. There we go. Just add strategy here. I know we have more objectives, but let's just keep that like that. Okay. So what now? Now that we know what you guys want, what comes next? So you guys have tried a bunch of things. You've tried Facebook ads, networking. I don't know about you, but when I first started, I really wanted to make sure that this worked with Will and I. I felt like we had a huge opportunity and I was really nervous that I was going to fuck it up and that I needed to make sure that I was pulling my weight. Will's really, really good on the analytical side and the marketing side and getting new leads. And I felt like for me, I really needed to, I was great at design and I'm talented in that aspect, but I wanted to make sure that I helped him get leads. And it kept me up at night. I remember feeling really stressed out, and I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. But I didn't want us to worry about where our next paycheck was coming from. So I needed to think of something really fast. And I wanted to ask you guys this. So what's available to everyone, seen by everyone, but nobody thinks to use it?
Riddle me this. Riddle me this.
Does anybody have a thought on that?
Email.
Email, okay. It's a good one. Anyone else?
The social media, like LinkedIn or Facebook. But I mean, well, like LinkedIn, it's sort of, people have started venturing into it, trying to get business leads from that, or work leads from that, and we haven't gotten anything from it. So maybe nobody thinks to use it because it doesn't work that well.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Well, here's one that's going to blow your mind. Indeed. Who here uses Indeed for leads? Anybody?
Hey.
Who here knows what Indeed is, and actually does Indeed operate in your market? Okay, everyone. Okay, who does not know what Indeed is? Good.
Okay, so this is why at the beginning I wanted you guys to change your mindset a little bit, because when I first started doing this, I thought I was doing something really, really terrible. And I still sometimes feel guilty about doing this because it doesn't seem completely honest. And I'll show you what I mean. So what's really cool about Indeed, one of our objectives is to get more marketing work. So what we can do here is we can actually go into Indeed and type in marketing and find jobs. And it actually tells you in Indeed, with a lot of listings, what people are looking for exactly and how much they're willing to spend. So here's their budget. I don't know if you can bring up the Zoom so I can see people's faces.
I have to get into my next thing right away.
Okay,
But,
is there a way that I can see people and then?
Yep, you can just.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here, you guys can you guys see this, the marketing coordinator position? So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through this listing, and I've already actually looked at this one last night. I'm gonna see if we can actually, as an agency, do the work on here. And if I know that we can do the work, I'm gonna apply to this job. And I'm gonna apply to it using Will's resume. And I'm gonna change his resume to fit this position. Because what I know is that if Will gets in for a meeting for this job, that he is going to actually close this person into working with us as an agency. I'm gonna stop right there, because I know I've rambled on for a little while. Who has questions about that so far?
Better yet, who's actually tried it? Who's actually done? Okay.
Our one of my my motion graphics guy, before I hired him on full time, he would look for job postings and then he would apply and then basically contact them and go, hey, well, I don't want to work for you full time, but I can do this for you, what you need right now. And it worked fairly well for him. I mean, he was, at the time, he was just like a single freelance motion graphics guy, but it worked surprisingly well. And from time to time, we still do that. Like if he's kind of slow, he'll like look around the job boards and see what's local and what people are looking for, and he'll poke in for that.
Yeah.
So it can be effective. We haven't landed like big jobs with it, but certainly a couple little one-offs here and there, and it gets you introduced to people. So it definitely works.
Perfect. For this one, we actually reached out to this company, and we're like, hey, we'd love to sit down and just chat with you. We want to learn more about what you guys do. And last week we sat down with them, and they listed. We just asked some questions. What are your hesitations? Have you been able to find this person? Because this posting, I think, has been up for a little while. Mm-hmm. So we're like, so at that point, the person gave us all of the information. We built the relationship. And at the end of the meeting, without us asking, saying, hey, this is something we want to do, they just said, if I sent this to you, do you think that you guys could cover a big portion of this? And if you can, I'd love to see a proposal. Mm-hmm. So it's actually just making sure that it's you go in there, not in a way where it's like sell, sell, sell. It's like, hey, what are the problems that you guys are trying to solve? Just to understand it.
Yeah, completely. Are you guys involved in your community at all? Like, do you guys go to networking events?
Not so much.
Not so much. Okay. What about, like, I don't know, do you go out to eat? Do you meet with friends?
Yeah.
You know a few people. Well, what's kind of cool about this is we've seen probably like 7 people that we've known on Indeed. And initially we were kind of shocked that these people didn't come and talk to us personally about what they were looking for, because it was everything that we did. But we were able to connect with them and actually land jobs because we knew who these people were. And they just didn't realize that we did the things that they were asking for. So maybe it's a friend that you know that's actually on here, or say, oh, well, maybe this friend works for this company and they can get me in. So do you see what I'm getting at here?
Right.
So reason why I wanted to know what your guys' objectives are is because I wanted to use some of your, maybe like try to find someone in your area that's looking for a position. So let's go here. So Tom, you're looking for video. What area are you in again?
Ann Arbor, Michigan. ANN. Space Arbor. ARBOR. Is that right? Oh, no, you.
MICH.
Just if you put Ann Arbor, right now you're in the Canadian side, so
that's
it
why.
may have to redirect you to the US one.
Indeed.com.
I changed it to, but just give it a try. Ann Arbor.
Let's go like this. Maybe if I do a private browser, let's try this.
Incognito.
Ann Arbor. There we go. Perfect. So let's see if we can find anybody looking for video work.
Or a videographer.
Find jobs. Okay, video sales, freelance wedding videographer. Is that something you guys do too?
No, we don't do weddings. Like Domino's, what are they looking for? Edits, graphics, design. So like Domino's would be huge because they're actually, they're a large corporation that we actually crossed paths with a few times.
And so if we go in here, you guys would do graphic design then too if you guys do motion, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's a big deal. It doesn't say what their budget is, but I mean, you can go through here. Oh, look, Flash. Okay, so this is
all stuff that we're capable of doing. Sure.
Pardon me?
It's all stuff that we're fully capable of doing.
Perfect. Yeah. So what I would do, I would go apply. I would put your resume in, and I would literally copy what is in here. Okay, Will's taking off. Thanks,
Okay.
Will.
I will.
Basically copy everything that's in here and edit it so it's in your words, and then just send it to them and try to get in.
Right.
I would even give them a call and set up a meeting, like call me.
You could if you were comfortable with that, but I've had an experience where I've called somebody and I've totally messed it up, and they're like, well, we want someone in-house and you need to send in a resume, and that didn't work for me.
Right.
Really, really good at sales. So if you're not good at sales, if you're kind of introverted, like I have a hard time with cold calling. So this, like sending out an email, is so much easier for me, especially if somebody's looking for somebody with my skill set or our team's skill set. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Part-time video instructor. I don't know if that's interesting to you. They're looking for a magician. I don't know if that's what you do. Might be fun. Social media. Let's see here. Intern. Production assistant. What is this?
I gotta say, from my perspective, this is very interesting because I'm focusing on the printing aspect of it. I would love to be able to deal with a company that's large enough to have their own in-house like designers.
Yeah.
It also means their size is large enough to employ that, which means they probably use enough printing.
Yeah.
Completely. Where?
One of the biggest things
on my end, and I already have 2 companies local to me that I could write down on a list, and I could actually start prospecting and telling them about my printing services that I have and how I can help them.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that we run into is, our budgets tend to be, between $12,000 and $50,000 for projects. So finding a company that's willing to spend that money, it's difficult. You know, most of our work comes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Most of our work comes through referral, people that we know. You know, the last year we really started revamping the website to make it more easily findable. And we've had success with local companies searching for what we do and contact us. And since they're in the market looking for it, you know, they pony up the money. But this is a good way. Like, I like how you guys are talking about, you know, you'll see sort of an idea of their budget. It's like, well, if you could do that for them, then, you know, they could technically spend less and get more.
Yeah, exactly. And then they don't have to pay someone. They don't have to get them a new computer. They probably need to get gear, right?
Right. Yep.
Like we just spent $30K on camera equipment. So I'm sure if they hired someone, they would need to touch up on their gear.
Yeah, that.
They
Right.
would also need to pay benefits. So those are the things that I like when I am in a meeting with somebody. I will say those things. So what's really nice about working with an agency is that now instead of having one person, you have 27 people to help with this project. You don't have to pay benefits. You don't have to worry about the person being sick. And you don't have to worry about getting equipment. And I'm sure there are other benefits. And then they start thinking, oh yeah, this is actually going to save me money. So, okay. Bill, what about you? I forget where you're from.
He's just up the road.
Pardon?
Highland, Indiana.
Sorry, what was the first place?
Highland.
Oh, I saw that. Sorry, it's hard to hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't bring everything with me today.
Highland, Indiana.
Yep.
Highland, Indiana. Here. And we'll say printing or graphic design.
Even like marketing, because if they're big enough to hire a marketing person, like I found one instantly that was Service Pro, or sorry, let me go back to what I grabbed. Service Sanitation. And they're looking for like a marketing coordinator, and they're looking for someone who helps producing business cards, brochures, sell sheets. That would be, you know, somebody that I could then go after and saying, hey, do you guys have somebody local who handles these with you?
Completely.
Which
Yeah.
we actually just, right after Christmas, we just installed a new digital press.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of why I've been MIA, but just got trained on it last week and everything else, and it's amazing, and the upgrade of quality and speed.
No, that's awesome. That's great. So basically, yeah, so that's pretty clear, right, guys?
Yep, I love that.
Yeah.
Strong.
Super simple. So I'm going to just show you how I would send one out.
Okay.
So this one, like I said, I've already looked at. So I'm going to apply to this one, and I'm going to edit my resume because it's not perfect right now. There we go. So I'm just going to put this side by side, and I've gotten pretty fast at this. So it gets easier once you do it a few times. Okay, so right here it's asking for a marketing assistant. What should I change Will's title to?
Marketing assistant.
Perfect. And you know, this is a branding exercise too, because you know how don't know what's going on here. You know how Chris always talks about how we need to reflect the customer in our content. So basically we empathize with the user, we listen to what they say, and then we take their content and we put it on our website. So basically we have a one-up on our competitors for this position because we know to actually copy what this person's saying when we're sending out a resume. Most people, when I get resumes, they're crap. Like, they have not looked at our website. They have not heard what we're asking for at all. They're talking about themselves the entire time, and I'm frustrated. When someone actually goes to the extent of actually looking at our information and writing down exactly what the position is, I know that person really cares. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So marketing assistant. Okay, so our Kelowna client in the fashion industry is looking to add a marketing assistant to their dynamic team. The ideal candidate will come prepared to work at a fast-paced environment. Everybody says that, right? If you're a marketing superstar, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so schedule posts, content, social media accounts, okay, local market research, perfect. So I'm going to go down to my skills, and I'm going to add social media marketing. So basically all I'm going to do is go down this list and start adding these to my skills. Because these are things, this is not honest, or this is honest. We actually do all of this. It's not will, but we have several marketers who actually can do this. So I don't really think there would be one person who could do all of this stuff ever.
Right.
Right? Like, most people just have a skill set. How many people are you guys all, like, how many people do you have working for you?
Yeah, I have 2 guys full time, and then when jobs need it, we'll balloon and add up at freelancers. But 2 guys are full time in addition to me.
Okay, perfect.
You guys have a lot, right?
We have 27.
Wow.
Yeah, it's busy. What about you guys? The rest of you?
Mostly just me, myself, and then I may hire a freelancer. I need them to do something for me.
Okay, so you could still do this, but maybe your search is a little bit more narrowed. Maybe it's a bit more specific because you probably can't do everything.
Right.
But what's nice about this is you'll be able to see what people's budgets are. Okay, so experience. So I'm just going to say we have a lot. So I'm going to say 10+ years. So basically, I'm going to go through this whole thing, edit the resume, make it exactly what they're looking for. I'm going to send it off, and then I'm going to go back in here and look for more until I can't find any more. And then I'm going to check in. I'm going to actually call these people and say, I'll get Will to call them and say, I've sent in my resume, just want to make sure that you guys received it. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll even ask who's doing the hiring and try to get their email and send them a personal email, just to be a little bit more high touch. People like that. I tend to interview the people who have bothered me the most, even though the resume might not be perfect, because I know they're persistent and they're probably going to work with our clients like that too, which our clients need that. Do you guys have any questions?
How long have you guys been doing this?
I've been doing this for about 4 years. I took a bit of a break because we were so busy. But right now we had a bunch of projects in the pipeline where we couldn't take any more leads. And then it kind of made it so we were at a bit of a cash crunch. So I started doing this again. And we started making a bunch of connections. I'm like, oh, I got to talk about this with these guys because this seems to be working really well. And I'm not like an SEO expert, you know, that's not what I do. I'm into branding, I'm into design, that's my passion. And I'm not like an expert salesperson, but anyone can do this, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
And at what point when Will goes in for the interview or something, like, is he like, hey, you know, we actually have an agency and we like to do this for you? Or does he like open up with it right away, or is he?
Typically what he would do is he would come in and he would meet the person and just ask a lot of questions. So similar to what Chris teaches us to do with our clients,
right,
is just asking questions about the job, getting to know the person, making them feel safe and comfortable, and then putting the spin on it after.
Okay, you said that earlier. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Please ask, and it changes depending on the person. So if he meets a person who's A-type, like very direct, he'll try to match their language. If this person wants to just sit and chit chat, he'll do that too. I've personally sent my own resume to people. Somebody was looking for a branding guideline for a clothing company. So I reached out to them and I actually sat down with them and landed the job. So just picking the person for the job really makes a difference. Okay. What about those who are quiet? Shivram, what about you? Do you have any questions? What's the
what's the success rate with each application that you have?
I'm gonna stop sharing this. For those that we go and meet, I would say probably like 80% say yes.
Okay, so how many applications do you have to fill in so that you have a sit down with, let's say?
Maybe 10.
So 10 out of?
Oh, I see. So like 1 out of 10.
Okay, all right.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you got to make 10 applications and you get into one of them, and that's the.
Yeah. And
yeah, because
go ahead.
I used to do this bit with Behance and another local portfolio company where they had to put jobs as well. And I've had 0% success rate there. Because they are, every time, like, you know, I come in and approach them, it's always like, you know, you have to, you know, they're looking for somebody permanent and they're not looking for an agency.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a different platform. Like this one Indeed works really well because like most people that would be applying for the job don't have the level of experience that you have, if that makes sense. Or it's very competitive. Like on Behance, like there's a lot of competition. And people are very specific in who they're looking for. Like they know how to use that platform because they've had experience doing this sort of thing before. It's just a different type of person looking for someone to fill the role on Indeed. Does that make sense?
Out of like, you know, 1 out of the 10 maybe you apply for, how many do you guys get called in for an interview?
I would say probably like 80%.
80? Okay.
Yeah, it's just basically like copying over what they're asking for. Okay. So if you make it really clear, then you typically can get someone. So it hasn't been hard. We haven't used this all the time because we've had, like I said, so many leads come in where we've been really busy, and our problem hasn't been finding leads. It's more been like making sure that customers are happy, which sounds terrible, but when you say yes to everything, that's our problem. We say yes, and then we end up drowning in work, right? So
yeah, I mean, that was some of our issue too, is that we got complacent, and I was just like constantly had enough work for everyone who was here. And it was at the moment I decided I wanted to grow a little bit. It was like, okay, well, to grow, I need to get more business. So
exactly. And what's really nice about this, again, like you can see what people's budgets are. I know we all have revenue goals, and like we have over 90 clients on retainer. So if I see here somebody's willing to pay like $5,000 a month for an employee, like that's what they can pay for in retainer. And that's really, really nice. So yeah,
they can have a whole agency for that.
Exactly. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
What about when it comes to responsibilities? Because I think when you're looking to hire somebody full-time, you'd probably be looking to hand off a lot of responsibilities, right? Because you need them to be on call for everything, and you need them to be a lot accountable and liable for their actions as well.
Absolutely. So how do you manage that?
Yeah.
I think and we've started doing this with every project, is just asking the client what their expectations are. Are you somebody that are you high touch? Do you need us to be calling you every day? Like what are your expectations? Because this is how we generally work. But if we know what you're looking for and how you work, then we can have a better relationship. So just one of our core values is communication. So we try to let our clients know that. The more we understand what you're going through and what you need, the easier it'll be for us to work together. And just we do reporting. So every month we give a report to our clients with the work that we've done and like how their analytics are doing. And then we chat with them and we say, hey, like how was your month? Like, was there anything that you guys needed that we didn't follow through on? Like, how are you feeling? And we just create the relationship. So just checking in and making sure that they're happy and that everything's going really smooth. And that seems to be pretty successful. So really, no matter what project you guys work on, it should be like that, right? So you're building a website. Hey, client, like you only get 2 rounds of revisions. After that, we're going to be charging you our studio rate hourly.
Yeah, and that's what we've done, is we've switched it to a project price thing. And for the newest clients going forward, since we've done that, it's helped a ton.
Yeah.
Especially managing the rapophobia, we like to call it. They never want to finish the video. They always want to change something.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's constant. I think clients are their own worst enemy. Like they get cold feet and they're nervous about actually putting out work. And it's our job is to really push them and try to get them to, don't worry about it. We can iterate later. Let's just get it out. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions about that, I'm going to end this so this doesn't go on forever, and then we can just talk about other stuff. Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
Okay, so stop recording.